What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Panfro Games, and today we are here once again with another tier list, and this tier list is covering the Halloween event Greedent Patch release. So not only did Greedent get added to the game, but we also got a bunch of buffs and nerfs to some of our favorite Pokemon and meta leaders, and we're gonna go over what changes were made and how did it affect the meta and what Greedent's place in the meta is. And of course, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I put out tons of Pokemon Unite content and other gaming action. So of course, I'm going to be grading a little bit harder than before. I think I've been a little bit too lenient, so I may be hurting some feelings out here with a couple of these Pokemon because I just want to say how it is at this point and I don't want to mince any words. And we're going to be, of course, Clefable still unreleased, still on this tier list for some unknown reason, so please ignore that. So we're rating S to D, S being the best, D being the worst. And Venusaur is number 1. So Venusaur got a very slight nerf and a buff to Solar Beam. So one, Solar Beam does more damage now, which is crazy. And Giga Drain got nerfed a bit. They lowered the ratio on Giga Drain Plus by a good amount. And they also lowered the damage resistance that you get from Giga Drain by 5%. You know what's crazy? Venusaur's still an S tier Pokemon. He's still incredible. This Pokemon, even if you don't use the Giga Drain Petal Dance build, they just buffed Solar Beam. And Solar Beam was already a great move before. It was just overshadowed by Petal Dance and Giga Drain. And yeah, this Pokemon's still incredible. You can still run Petal Dance and Giga Drain. It's less brain dead. You do got to be like a little bit more of a skilled player, so you can't just run in immediately a 1v5 because you get, you know, the damage resistance definitely hurts you, especially the -2 Giga Drain hurts a bit too, especially at the higher levels. But overall, you're gonna be playing Venusaur virtually the same as you always would in either build. And Solar Beam's just sort of better now at the end of the day because now you're bringing back great sniping damage and you just do even more damage based on the enemy's health with Solar Beam. So yeah, Venusaur's still S tier. I expect him to stay as S tier because in the League Battle Pass, he probably has the end of the Battle Pass skin. So I don't think they're gonna nerf a character that has a skin. Personally, it's all about money at some point, you know. So yeah, Venusaur's still S tier. Gengar got a slight buff, but he's going to end up in C tier still. So at level 5, Gengar gets a 12.5% Spell Vamp addition, which is essentially its lifesteal on all his special attacks. So all his moves except for his first 2 auto attacks as their physical attacks, right? It didn't really add much to Gengar, as Gengar still falls behind in the jungle, and you can't play this Pokemon in lane and think you have a chance of actually winning the lane unless the other team's that terrible. Gengar just really needs... He may need a rework of some kind, honestly. He's not bad per se, because he does do good damage, especially if you get fed, but the reality is he's just the worst speedster in the game at this moment, and we can't... I mean, this 12.5% lifesteal buff just wasn't enough. I think he probably needs more raw attack damage. So Mr. Mime, guys, this is gonna be controversial, but I've been won over by the Mr. Mime fans, the stands of Mr. Mime. I'm putting him in A tier, so I don't have too much personal experience with Mr. Mime. Whenever I talk to people about Mr. Mime, and whenever I see Mr. Mime or face Mr. Mime, this Pokemon just constantly one-shots me. This is a supporter that supports the team by killing the enemy. This does insane damage. Barrier is super good as well, as you can set up confusion damage, but also block off enemies and set up certain situations. He has a pretty solid ultimate ability. And guard swap's actually really good at buffing your team or disabling an enemy by lowering their stats, and then you can just rack them with confusion. I mean, Mr. Mime, of course, as a support character, he can't really carry by himself, but if he's paired up with any other Pokemon, he's going to be really good at the end of the day. And I think Mr. Mime deserves some more recognition. He is definitely one of the weirder Pokemon to play in the game right now, but I think he's overall really good. And to go with Mr. Mime, I'm actually going to have Snorlax back at A tier, jumping from B to A. Because Snorlax didn't get any changes, but because of some of the nerfs to Blastoise, Snorlax goes up as he's going to be a lot valuable as a defender, because now no defenders are really doing stupid damage just from their regular moves anymore. Snorlax's reliability is really great overall. Block's great, heavy slam's good. Yeah, you're not gonna be using Yawn anymore, but overall he's still good. He does have good pairings, especially with Greedent because of his berry ability. So there is good synergy with actually Snorlax, Greedent, and Mr. Mime. All have some different great utility together. And Gardevoir, I'm going to be putting back into the D tier. I think this is the worst attacker in the game still. My thought has not changed on this Pokemon. It runs into Garchomp syndrome where, you know, this Pokemon just is not a Pokemon till level 6. You lose lanes super easily. If you put this Pokemon in jungle, you essentially lose the jungle and you're not going to get any good ganks. Even if you're going to be leveling up, the fact is you're really squishy. Your damage isn't high enough. You don't have great gank potential. You just really don't have any moves that are wonderful at ganking, and you really rely on your teammates. And most of the time you won't be able to farm decently well, and it just feels like a 4v5 until level 10, and even by then you're just really more useful for your ult than the actual damage you put out compared to other Pokemon. So Gardevoir stays in D. Gardevoir probably needs some sort of buff. I think Ralts honestly just needs more damage and a little bit more tankiness, and I think he'll be in a lot better place overall. Absol, I'm gonna be throwing back into B tier. I don't think Absol makes it to A tier, but Absol's still a good Pokemon. B is a good tier to be in, so B is definitely playable. This is a great speedster. Early game, mid game, fantastic for Absol overall still. I mean, nothing really changed for it. Still suffers from the same problem as when you get to the late game, this Pokemon really falls off. If this Pokemon gets knocked off once, it's very easy to take out. And of course, you're a melee attacker, so you're gonna be really close to defenders. So that's gonna happen pretty often, unlike our ranged attackers. So fortunately, Absol, you know, it falls off in the late game, but still a good Pokemon. Still, I wouldn't say not buy this Pokemon. You know, a fun Pokemon to play, and it's just a cool Pokemon overall. So Garchomp got some buffs, and the buffs were to attack speed, and I believe the Dragon Rush move also got a little bit of a buff too. So I actually had Garchomp in C tier last time, but I'm gonna be real. I really think Garchomp is actually in D tier. I'm gonna be real. I actually think Garchomp is in D tier. I think I was being a little bit too biased to the Garchomp fans, but I'm sorry, guys. Gardevoir and Garchomp is officially called Gargar tier. We're bringing it back. An OG term, Gargar tier. These teams, they're just garbage, and they're both Gardevoir and Garchomp, you know, Gargar. Anyways, Garchomp, yeah, the issue with Garchomp, he also runs into the exact same issues as Gardevoir. You don't want this Pokemon in the jungle. There's so many better junglers. This Pokemon can get bullied early on. In lane is a little bit better than Ralts. However, it's just not good enough. And I still think Gabai is super awkward. The big issue is at least Gardevoir has a really good ult coming off when you're at level 10. The issue with Garchomp's ult just honestly isn't that great for what you have to do. There's a lot more effort going into it, where it's like there's a lot going on here, you know, you gotta really aim it, and it just doesn't feel too great. You really get taken out by any Pokemon that have knockups, or if any ranged Pokemon can really bully you. Garchomp doesn't have the best way to catch up to an enemy or really slow an enemy down. I really think Garchomp actually needs either a complete rework or add damage resist to some of his moves. He needs like something that Venusaur has, where he can use a move and for a short period of time be like resistant to damage for like 40% damage reduction for a period of time. Honestly, I think that would really help the Pokemon out. So yeah, devs, please look at Gardevoir and Garchomp. They really need it. So Lucario got some nerfs. So everyone was like, oh my god, Lucario nerfs crazy. Even I was thinking that. Well, Lucario at the end of the day really only got like a 2.5% damage decrease, and so his damage is really not affected. Power Up Punch got a side grade, didn't really get nerfed actually, and if you run X attack on Lucario, it actually ends up buffing the damage on that move now, because we changed the properties of Power Up Punch, which is pretty funny. The biggest downgrade of Lucario is Steadfast's ability is from 30 seconds from before to now 60 seconds, which is a pretty big nerf, but you can still play super aggressive in the early game. You still have Score Shield. This Pokemon's still S tier. He's just not the top of S tier, but hey, he's still one of the best Pokemon in the game. If you're a Lucario fan, you're gonna love him. Honestly, keep using him. He's fantastic. He's gonna have a little bit harder situation in the 1-1-3 meta. We're yet to see if that completely breaks down, which it might, and I hope it does, but either way, Lucario's still going to be a top pick Pokemon no matter what. He's just less broken, but he's still like OP. Crustal. Okay, we're going to be harsh to Crustal. We're putting him in that C tier. He's very average. At the end of the day, Crustal fails at his role as a defender. Just really bad defensive options. What he's good at is like sneaking in goals, but he provides no damage. So that's like, okay, that's lame. And he's good at getting objectives, but there's a better Pokemon that does all of that. And we'll actually just skip to that Pokemon right now. Talonflame up in A tier here. Talonflame, yeah, it literally does what Crustal does, but better. Talonflame, probably the best speedster in the game. Probably, if not the best jungler, one of the best junglers in the game. Has great ways to confirm objectives, as you just use fly to get into a fight for free and take a Dreadnought, a Rotom, or Zapdos for free, as no one can touch you for 4 seconds and you're just in the air. Bam, just smack down, get the last hit very easily. Also, you have the fastest scoring in the game, and you're so much quick movement speed, especially if you're passive Gale Wings. It's giving you a natural bonus movement speed and fast scoring. Put that with Goal Getter or a Score Shield, you're good to go. Or you're good to go, and you can easily backdoor. So Talonflame's just way better than Crustal. All Crustal players should play Talonflame, and just honestly stop playing Crustal like that. He's overall like an alright Pokemon, but you know, I feel he's honestly, I'm gonna say, the worst defender at this point. I'm gonna say he's the worst defender. Spoilers. Greninja, I'm gonna put down into B tier. I think Greninja really has fallen from grace at this point. I had him in A tier. I definitely had him a little bit higher up than I wanted to. He's still good. The issue with Greninja is the Surf build is dead. It's just unfortunately dead at this point, and you have to go Water Shuriken, but Surf was the reason why he was so OP. Water Shuriken's good, but there isn't a single argument someone can make that would be like, yeah, I'm gonna run Greninja over Cinderace. They are literally the exact same role. They're the exact same type of character, but one does it way better. And yeah, Cinderace does his job way better in Greninja. And Greninja is still fun. You can still run Greninja. He's just not the best jungler either. I mean, I'd rather actually have an Absol jungler than a Greninja jungler. I'll be real about that. Especially Talonflame or even Venusaur or Lucario. Honestly, like, Greninja's just not a jungle Pokemon. He should be played in lane. And yeah, his lane's all right overall. It's just like lowering the damage, lowering his HP, just makes him a little bit too squishy and frail for a lot of people's likings, but he's still better than the likes of Crustal and Gengar. Charizard, we're gonna put Charizard down into B tier. I'm actually gonna put Charizard. What on top of B here? Yeah, Charizard, I mean, not much has changed for him in this patch, so he's still doing Charizard things. I'm a little bit higher on Charizard than some people are. He does good damage overall. His ultimate's really good. His laning isn't terrible. He's not completely useless. Charmeleon does pack a punch. Decent jungle route. You know, solid Pokemon to put in like top or bottom lane overall too. And I think this Pokemon's all is incredible, as he just really he just removes the target from battle and just kills them, and he just doesn't die during his ultimate because he has a lot of HP regen. So I think he's overall a good Pokemon. And then Zera Aura, I'm gonna probably put Zera Aura right after Snorlax in A tier. Zera Aura, second best speedster in the game in my opinion. He's great. He is one of the best junglers as well. Pretty much the jungle meta right now is Talonflame, Zera Aura, instant lock-ins, and solo queue. So they're both great Pokemon overall, but yeah, I think Zera Aura provides a lot of great damage. He can survive in a team fight. He's just definitely one of the best Pokemon in the game. He got a slight nerf to Discharge, which didn't really affect him too much. But I mean, he's just super strong. I think he is fair though. You can definitely knock up Zera Aura and just take him out. He doesn't have any immunities. He has ways to escape battle, but he does have to sort of plan them out. Like with Volt Switch, you got to sort of use it before and then you leave battle. So it's not necessarily has the best ways of getting out of battle, but it's pretty solid. Great movement options, great jungle ganks, does a ton of damage. Just want to make sure he stays up to level, or if he falls behind, it'll be devastating for the team. All right, so Cinderace. I'm going to put Cinderace. Can be real. I'm putting Cinderace in S tier as the best Pokemon right now in the game. Straight up best Pokemon in the game. Cinderace mains rise up. So I had him in A tier last time, and that was a little bit foolish. I've been playing a lot more Cinderace recently, and wow, Cinderace is killing it. You just gotta be smart when you play Cinderace, as you run Pyro Ball, Flame Charge, so those got buffed about 2 patches ago, and you run those 2 moves. You use Flame Charge as not as a damaging move, but as a movement move to dodge attacks, and you get more Flame Charges than Feints off, so it ends up being way better than Feint. And Pyro Ball you only use if you are targeting multiple Pokemon at once, so in a team fight. If you actually do way less damage if you use Pyro Ball every time it goes up instead of just using auto attacks. The thing is, your auto attacks are crazy because there's a massive crit build for Cinderace. You just do massive damage, just critting all the time, and this Pokemon wins games he carries. He is one of the best junglers, if not the best jungler, one of the best laners, if not the best laner. Anyone can play him. He's easy to pick up and play too. I sort of think they may slightly tone him down a bit right now because the crits and the attack speed is crazy on this Pokemon. So Eldegoss I'm gonna put up in A tier as well. I mean S tier, not A tier, S tier. Best support in the game. What else can I say about Eldegoss besides this Pokemon has the best heals and shields in the entire game and really nice ultimate. Fits pretty much, if you look at top 100 players, Eldegoss has like an insane play rate on the top 100 players. So, I mean, Eldegoss is just a pro player support. So if you're gonna learn support and want to like actually play as a supporter, then go Eldegoss. This Pokemon just does it all. Cramorant, B tier. I'm put Cram right under Greninja. Cram's good. He's good. He's just very unimpressive. I mean, I look at someone like Venusaur and Cinderace who are leading the attackers, and Cramorant just really falls behind. His auto attackers aren't there like those Pokemon have. His third boosted isn't as great. The reason why you really use Cramorant is honestly for his ultimate, which I think is a bonkers crazy. And he does have a strong early game, but I do believe that Cramorant falls off starting in the mid game, and that late game is a bit hard for him outside of his ultimate. Yeah, his ultimate can win games for sure. But I mean, so does Gardevoir, and Gardevoir's and Garguard's here. So what does that really mean at the end of the day? If you're not a full complete package, I wouldn't put you any higher. But B's still good. You can, Cramorant Reigns, don't hate me. He's still a good Pokemon. You know, he's just not one of the best Pokemon in the game right now. So Blastoise got nerfed, and he got nerfed really hard. Man, he got nerfed really hard. He's still really good. Surf is good. Hydro Pump does less damage. They pretty much neutered his Unite move in the terms of damage. It still does a good amount. It's not like, oh, literally no damage, but it will not just instantly wipe a team out like it did before. It does a decent chunk, and definitely not like the best move for winning Zapdos now, just because you got to be much closer to Zapdos's hitting 0 than before. So I'm gonna put Blastoise. I honestly sort of think Blastoise is tied with Snorlax as best defender right now in this case. Just because he provides great defending support. Like, what I like about Blastoise is Surf is incredible, and it's like one of the best moves in the game. Pushes back Rotom as well. It's really good for finishing up Pokemon. It does decent damage still. Blastoise still has great bulk. I mean, his Unite move is still good in team fights. It can still win team fights. Still pick off like someone like a Cinderace or a Greninja if they are low enough in HP very easily. It's just, you know, he got nerfed, so he's no longer in the S tier God crown, but I still will say pros will probably run him. And overall, like, you can still play Blastoise. And I'm still playing Blastoise and Masters tier and having a fun time, but it's just not as OP as before. Pikachu got some buffs, and Pikachu's still in the C tier. He's all right. Pikachu got buffed in the moves he didn't really need to get buffed, which was like Volt Tackle and I believe Thunder. And most people run Thunderbolt, Electro Ball, so it's sort of making his other moves more up to par. But at the end of the day, you're still gonna run Electro Ball, Thunderbolt. I honestly wish they just gave him more defensive stats, a little bit more bulk in the later levels at the very least, and more damage on Electro Ball. But yeah, Pikachu's all right. Sylveon. So I was really hot on Sylveon. I had Sylveon up in S tier before. I'm actually gonna put Sylveon in high A. I feel like Sylveon is still great. I still consider myself Sylveon as one of my mains, as I mean a lot of these Pokemon in S and A tier. But yeah, I love Sylveon. One of my favorite Pokemon of all time for sure. But I think we were a little bit too hot on Sylveon before. They're still good. Still a great Pokemon to pick. You know, and now Mystical Fire and Calm Mind builds, Calm Mind, Hyper Voice builds, you know, are both decent. You know, Mystical Fire better as the solo 1v1 build, and now Calm Mind Hyper Voice is better for your team fights. Their damage is good. It's just not as ignorant as before. Your ult's still good. It's just the lower damage output is noticeable when you compare it to someone like Cinderace and Venusaur. Just I'm gonna put them in A, just because, you know, I don't think they're broken. I think they're balanced. I think A is like, this Pokemon is incredibly balanced. Like, don't touch this Pokemon anymore. I think S tier Pokemon could receive a nerf, and I think it's warranted. All right, so this is what you waited for 20 minutes into the video. Where is my Greedent placement? So I released a Greedent Master Guide, so I have a lot of experience with Greedent now. Greedent is really fun. He does look like Peter Griffin, and very unique choice for the game. Overall, though, Greedent, I'm gonna put into A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put Greedent right here. So some people are like, wow, that might be crazy. Like, isn't Belch broken? Belch Unite move completely busted. Well, yeah, it is, but here's my thing. So Greedent, okay, so Bullet Seed is not a move. Remove that. I think, what is Stuffy Cheeks is a bad healing move overall. I don't think it fits well. I think the one set is Covet and Belch. So yeah, Belch is great. What I think puts this Pokemon in A tier is one, Covet Belch isn't the easiest set to run. It is a hard, difficult set to run. It does take a lot of time to master. So I think it is rewarding to have that. The Unite move is fantastic with Belch, and that definitely will get nerfed. I will let you know, they will probably nerf it after the Halloween event because they're trying to make sales in the Halloween event for Greedent. I think that damage is busted. However, the thing is, in team fights, a lot of people will know how to circle around Greedent, because the reality is Greedent is slow. Belch isn't instant. Like, there is a wide range to it, but it isn't instant. Any Pokemon with high mobility can take him out. You can also knock him up. He isn't like when he is, you know, belching stationary wise, he is susceptible to knockups and everything. You will have to use Covet, but if you're using Covet, you're not going to be able to land all your shots. It's gonna be a lot harder. It's a lot more hectic, and overall, I think this Pokemon is in a good place. I think he's gonna get a slight nerf to Belch damage, but even without the nerf, I'll still put him in A tier, and I still think he's a great Pokemon to play. Hello, Ninetales. Ooh, hello, Ninetales. I think it's low B tier here. Hello, Ninetales is sort of just, let's not doing too hot right now. This Pokemon needs a buff. I don't know what, no one cares about low Ninetales at this point. This Pokemon needs a buff. The freezes are great, your attack support Pokemon, but your Surge just ends up being a better version of Pikachu at the end of the day. Your early game is really strong, but by late game, you're no threat. And even by mid game, you're really not much of a threat. Easy to jump on and just take out. Wigglytuff, I'm gonna put up in high B tier. Wigglytuff is good still. Obviously, B tier is good. I just think we are looking at Pokemon like Greedent, who can really just take over Wigglytuff's job. Greedent just has a better early game. Greedent does more damage. Yeah, Wigglytuff is one of the best ultimate moves in the game, but at the end of the day, I just much rather run an Eldegoss or a Greedent that can do the same type of job. Snorlax ends up being a better defender type than Wigglytuff as a support. Wigglytuff just doesn't really do the damage it needs to do anymore, and the sleep change really hurt it. So overall, you're running this Pokemon mostly for its Unite move and just for a cute charm, which is still good. It's just not as good as was before. And this may be a bit controversial for some people, but I'm going to say this, guys. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put Slowbro up in B tier. I had Slowbro in D tier last time, but then Slowbro got buffed with a big Amnesia buff and HP buff. So Amnesia's cooldown got changed. I forgot the exact change, but it was sizable. I think it was by 4 to 5 second change, which is pretty massive. Yeah, I think it was a 13-second cooldown or 12-second, and now it's like 7 or 8. Pretty crazy. And now you heal more of your, so Slowbro has 2 health bars. When you take damage, you get a blue health bar. When you use Amnesia, you heal that blue health bar. So yeah, your healing's way faster now. Yeah, and yeah, Slowbro just ends up being a better tank. Slowbro's damage is still pitiful, but Surf knockup's still great. So I think Surf Amnesia is the play to go for solo masters. Telekinesis is still like a fantastic move if you're playing with like a pre-made team. However, that move sometimes doesn't work out best. I think that move's a little bit buggy still, but I'm an Amnesia Surf main for Slowbro, and I've definitely tried him out, and yeah, he's a B tier Pokemon. I think he's good. I want him to be better. I want to like put him in A tier at some point, but we need another buff to him. I think the buff needs to be in defensive bulk or make surf duration last longer. Machamp is in C tier. Machamp's all right overall. They haven't touched Machamp in a hot minute, and they just keep releasing Pokemon that end up being better Machamp. The hindrance removal is why you would pick them, but at the end of the day, you can just run someone like Blissey to just remove hindrances from your entire team. There really isn't necessarily a reason to run Machamp. And yeah, there's only 4 all-rounders, but Charizard and Lucario are way better than Machamp. Yeah, Machamp can run jungle. His lane is so terrible, though. I actually hate his lane so much. And if you run Machamp jungle, you're going to lose a jungle spot to someone who could be way better. All right, so Blissey. I'm going to put Blissey up in B tier. Actually, I'm going to put Blissey above. I'm going to put Blissey here in middle of B. So, Blissey, I had B tier last time, but lower B. I think the reason why I'm still liking Blissey a bit is just because wherever the meta goes, Blissey has the best moveset to adapt. The issue with Blissey is Eldegoss just does that way better. But if you want someone who can score shield and dive in and score in the early game and have a really strong offensive early game, Blissey's your Pokemon. Healing is fantastic. Egg Bombs is a meme, but is a fun meme. I think the ultimate could be buffed a bit overall. I think it's really weak. I really think Blissey's ult, if it got changed or improved, could be an A tier Pokemon. But right now, Blissey's a good Pokemon, just not the best support. I'd rather have Eldegoss in that niche that Blissey runs, but if I want to be an attack support, I'd rather just run Mr. Mime. And we're gonna get Mammo Swine up in here. I'm gonna put Mammo Swine. I'm gonna put Mammo Swine top of B tier now. So yeah, Mammo Swine's good. One of the best goal defender in the game right now. But the issue with that sentiment is a lot of the game is not played at your goal. And Mammo Swine he has great crowd control. But the issue with Mammo Swine is honestly, his biggest weakness is his ultimate's all right overall. And his cooldowns are so long, and he does have awkward combinations with his moveset. So I do want to see some buffs to Mammo Swine. I think Mammo Swine deserves to be an A tier Pokemon. I love this Pokemon, but the cooldowns are really long. You're not the tankiest Pokemon either, and your moves also have a lot of startup overall. So it's all right. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my Masters tier list with, the mind of solo queue for Pokemon Unite with this Greedent Halloween patch. Please let me know in the comments below how you feel about this tier list, where you put your favorite Pokemon. Hopefully your favorite Pokemon are rated highly. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time with more Panfro Games action. Peace out and have a great one.